Hi. Oh. Let's go. Going through a tight one. Welcome to Thievius Entertainment. Yeah. I don't know the words. Hey everybody, welcome to Thievius Entertainment. We're going to be talking to you about Birds of Prey, but mostly Harley Quinn.
Harley Quinn, Birds of Prey. We have orders to change. I have this document here saying that we have authorization to change the name of this film after it's been released already and is on all the posters and t-shirts and things. It's going to be called Harley Quinn, Birds of Prey now.
But by looking at my documents here, you haven't changed the name on your documents. It's just say Birds of Prey on it. So,
Fuck.
Yeah. Bitch. You better fix your shit.
Anyways.
But, whatever. But, before we continue onwards, this movie has been a slight up a train wreck. It only made $17 million in box opening night. There was an issue due to the naming. Everyone believes it should have been just called Harley Quinn and the Birds of Prey. So DC has made reprints of posters, retitled the name. I don't know if they sent out new edits of the movie to theaters. I just know they have now reissued it as now Harley Quinn, Birds of Prey.
Which is something that they've done in the past with certain movies, like that one with Tom Cruise where he lives, dies, and repeats, right? Because it was originally called something else and now it's called Live, Die, Repeat or something like that.
Oh, you're talking about a shit Tom Cruise movie?
Yeah.
Oh,
yes.
Oh, I don't give a fuck. You know what I mean?
That's
Tom
like one of
Cruise.
the only other times I've heard of this kind of thing happening. But
It's just bad marketing, and if you choose to...
Here's the thing, though. The Suicide Squad
Yes.
sold well.
Yes.
It did well.
Yes.
This movie, and that didn't have like Harley Quinn or anybody's name in the title.
No.
How was Harley Quinn gonna make this one sound better?
Let me educate you, Daniel. If you make a movie with multiple characters that are supposed to share the limelight, like whatever the fuck's supposed to, limelight. I did say it right. Look at me. And if you're supposed to share it properly, you do not make one character prime, like the prime thing. You're supposed to share it.
Yeah. Like
they did in Suicide Squad. Except for Croc. Croc didn't really get that much showing. But what are you gonna do?
Well,
but they did well with Suicide Squad, showing off their characters and what they can do and their backstories, etc. With this movie, you followed Harley Quinn. You did things with Harley Quinn. Shit happens to Harley Quinn. Characters show up in Harley Quinn's life, then they go backwards. I say backwards to tell you the backstories. So, that take a little long?
Do you want to pass it over to our fellow here to tell us the synopsis?
Do we have to? Sure, why not? Let's pass it off to the big body group. How you doing, buddy? Birds of Prey. Birds of Prey. Tell something about Birds of Prey. Birds of Prey was a good movie. It had my girl Harley in it. She got her shit going on. She's rocking out her nice go-go shit. She did some like crazy stuff in the comic books that's out there. We all love them and dear. There's a good series out there. She did some like rollerblading. She kicked ass on the rollerblades. She took a good hit at the Joker. She does blow up her little chem lab place where she first like did her plunge. What else? They did a thing with a whole the girls getting together, doing some girl power stuff, running around kicking ass. Mostly at the end. I have to say I did dig that Black Canary girl. She did awesome. She can wear those pants all day long, if you know what I mean. Back to more the action wise. She this movie went pretty well. They got somewhere, with the whole thing. I have to say, Harley Quinn did breaking out that nice hyena stuff. Didn't make it that far, but we did see some almost woman on dog action. It was kind of weird. I turned my head for 5 seconds, but I peeked. Yeah, it was another like a villain movie, superhero movie, so I didn't really. You get the gist of it. Just, it was okay. Goodbye. I want to go back. Thank you, Big Bocce Club. Thank you for that information.
Thank you very much. Well, what did you think?
Of the movie? I think I already said it. Well, you can tell now.
What, you didn't like it?
Of what?
The movie.
The movie, The movie, I did enjoy it. We didn't even talk about theater because, theater presence, because I went on my little rant of how one movie didn't do good than the other, what title base. We did go to the Regal, our local Regal. You probably hear us saying it all the time. It's in Poughkeepsie, etc., etc., etc. We went there and it was what was it? It was a weekend.
Yeah, well, we didn't see it opening night. We saw it a couple days late.
Yeah, we saw the weekend showing, showing and everything. I think it was like Saturday or Sunday, one of the two. And
it was late.
It was a late showing. It was like a 10 o'clock showing, and it was I think it was Saturday, and it was. I would say that would be a time for you to be like still going out. Should be have a crowd still coming in, but it was dead, pretty much dead. It was horrifying.
Yeah.
In a way, it was. I could throw a candy and not hit nobody. Empty.
It was a late show though.
Yeah, it was a 10:20. 10:10.
I think that some of these movies are sort of like they're put out. The movie theater is putting them like on an hourly or even half hourly basis, and that's good because then more people get to see the movie. But it does make it a little bit like too open. Like it's sort of it's fun when like I missed the show, you know, like that's not fun for the people that missed the show, but
true.
But it's fun. It's fun because like then that means that there is like it's almost like when Nintendo first released the Switch, you couldn't find Switches, you know. And then that's like wow, you know, the Switch really is selling really well, but really the Switch didn't sell that well. They just didn't have a lot of copies.
I know people trying to buy it just to karate chop it or cut it with samurai swords.
What? Why?
Because they hated it.
What?
They thought it was garbage.
Well, that's ridiculous.
I'm sorry.
I liked the movie a lot. I thought it was really good. I liked it. Well, just off the bat, I liked it more than any of the other DC movies. And I think that's mostly because Margot Robbie, like her portrayal of Harley Quinn, I think is really good.
Mm-hmm.
Like Harley Quinn in the cartoon where she came from is like, it's a cool character, but it's like she's really annoying. You know, like her voice, just the voice is annoying.
True.
And Margot Robbie,
nails
like,
it.
Just like and it almost feels like she tones down the voice. But she just like plays it so well.
Well, she gives it more like a Brooklyn or like a city like voice. She's not giving like what we're used to, like a Harley Quinn straight high pitched voice is talking to you, punching lines at you,
but it still has the same presence. You know, it's not exactly the same, but it does the same thing.
But you can
this spontaneous sort of like crazy girl, you know.
True.
And also this movie made her much more like pop culture icon. She's really fashionable. Like the fashion in it was something really cool. The costume design. Mm-hmm. It seems like they hired somebody like really, like a hip hop artist or something to design the clothes, you know.
Yeah, but like if you look at like all like in her own comics, you see that in every single story that she has a new outfit. Yeah. I wish they went with like more like these outfits that they give you, but like Dan's saying, they give you more poppy, etc. outfits. Like,
yeah, I like that.
She's wearing a pom-pom as a jacket. Come on now.
Yeah, they're nuts. You know, they're crazy outfits, but I thought that was cool.
Like,
I'm not the hugest fan of like the direction they went with Jared Leto being like a gangsta, but they sort of did it with her too. Like, I don't like that she has that tattoo around on her jaw. But like they kept with the aesthetic, and they think that they really made it work.
They weren't gonna scrub her clean.
Yeah.
They weren't gonna do that. They're not gonna change this character. They already had base set up and ready to go. They did change the Joker though. If you see the beginning of the movie, they changed the design of the Joker. Instead of doing like the Jared Leto like gangster slob, like no real like emotion in his face. He was just like an ass kind of Joker. He was more the uppity Joker that we know from our favorite WB cartoons.
Yeah, it starts out with this little animation that and they have an animated Joker in it.
Tell us the whole backstory of Harley.
It's the traditional sort of Joker.
And there's a part when they give a tattoo to some guy, like a mob hitman guy, and you see him dressed up sort of. To me, it looked like his normal gear, like his suit and tie.
I forgot about that. You do see him on screen.
But it's not Jared Leto.
Is it not?
No.
Oh.
Because we know he's now our neighborhood vampire now for Marvel.
Wow.
So he ain't coming around town anymore for DC.
I don't know about that. You can play both sides, you know what I mean? Like,
what side do you really want to be on?
There's other actors that do it. No.
Who?
Or you could be like Captain America and you play both Captain America and the Human Torch, and you stay on one side, play two characters.
You know, he was in a DC movie, right?
Yeah?
Yeah, it's called Losers. DC Losers.
You know too much about DC.
Not really.
That's what I've concluded.
He was in it. I believe that's what it is, DC Losers. It's like a stupid, what's it called? Fuck, let's not talk about it. We're talking about Hollywood. Why are we going in this direction? There's no need for us.
Well, I like that this movie sort of like, when, like, Suicide Squad, as you said in the beginning, was like a team effort. And then this movie was sort of like a sequel to Suicide Squad, and it sort of retained Harley Quinn as leader of the group, and so we followed Harley Quinn, and I thought that was smart, because I think everybody's favorite character, well, for the most part, from Suicide Squad was Harley Quinn. And she's a strong female character, and people relate to that and they really like it. And I think it was smart of them to use this character to create a team and entirely made of females too,
True.
So we were introduced to a whole new lineup of people, but through the character that we're familiar with.
Yeah, and
and it was also a failsafe. If, say, nobody liked Huntress, then they could be like, she dies in the next movie, we're not too attached.
But
they could always do that, I guess, but it's easier this way.
True.
On that note, though, I do like the Huntress. I thought that was really cool.
Well,
crossbow
killer. I want the crossbow killer. Yeah, her character, the Huntress, is a weird. To me, it's a different portray of her because I seen her in and to me the only comic book series I really read on her was Hush. Well, she was part of Hush, and she was brutal, but she has some sex appeal. Okay, and she was really kick-ass. She actually saved Batman's life and all that junk in that part of the comic. But then the other one I know of is from the Arrowverse, and that's a different storyline. Well, and the same backstory, different city, different person that trains her too, and all that crap. And she does use crossbows, but not like this one. This one's pretty badass. But yeah, it's a different portrayal of her because like the other one from the Arrowverse was more like she wasn't afraid. She wasn't hesitant. She knew what she was probably doing properly and all that stuff. This one, you can see more of like, she had anger behind her. She did take the time to make sure that these people got killed with them knowing that it's her killing them before they passed away. and including the way her character is in this movie is more like a loner. She doesn't know how to really connect with people.
And she's like sort of like Thor when he started off.
I will partake in this fist bump.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that, and I like that's also Mary Elizabeth Winstead, who was Ramona Flowers in Scott Pilgrim.
Oh, okay. I think you mentioned that to me before.
Of course I did.
You mentioned this movie last week.
And the other characters.
We have the Black Canary. We do not see her use her ability until later in the movie.
Well, we kind of see her break. There's a glass that she breaks. In the
That's
beginning.
singing, and people can sing and break glass.
Yeah. I don't know what I had known about Black Canary was from this one comic that I had read where she was like she was like it was like a band, the Black Canaries, and she was like the main. It was like, I don't know if it was like an alternate version or something. So I thought it was cool that she was like a in-house singer with the Bad Guys Club. You know, like I thought that was a clever way of incorporating her into the movie, and you know, she's like sort of a bad guy, but like not really wholeheartedly in it.
True. She's like, to me, like her character in this movie accidentally stumbled upon this lifestyle that she shouldn't have been in.
Yeah.
But like, she was making money for herself. She was doing her thing.
Yeah, they referenced her mom, didn't they?
They've referenced her mom. Okay, by the looks of everything, is like, to my knowledge of this, I don't know the real backstory of her, but I know my coworker, she gave me some knowledge. She, the mother was the canary. She did have the powers, etc., etc. She does pass away. She's not supposed to be in Gotham. She's supposed to be in Starling with the Green Arrow. The father is still, like in the Arrowverse, the father is supposed to be a police officer. And what else?
Well, maybe they will expand on all of that stuff.
Well, hopefully, if they get a sequel.
Because they mentioned the mom, and they still could.
Mother died,
and they didn't necessarily say that she was born in Gotham. She's just in Gotham.
But she's in Gotham, but like, there's no like, she doesn't well, the police officer that was working with them. I think her name's Martado. I think.
Montana.
Whatever.
Montoya.
I could be pronouncing anything wrong.
Now, her name
Montoya. She stated, like, if your mother died on my watch, stating she died in Gotham, then not on her watch.
That is true.
That happened.
Is very.
In a way, the way they're saying it, she died in Gotham.
Maybe they can retcon it to make it work.
Maybe, but like, she's supposed to be in Starling and all that stuff, and she's supposed to, in the background, everyone knows now. Well, she's supposed to hook up with Green Arrow and start a family too, and she's far away from him.
I have a feeling, you know, it's the next Harley Quinn movie is supposed to be the Sirens, Gotham Sirens or whatever.
Hell no.
Sleeping with Sirens.
Yeah, Sleeping with Sirens. I love to see them.
The musical.
They can kickstart that shit.
It'll be Disney. It'll be a DC musical with
Disney.
Sleeping with Sirens music.
Oh my god.
DC characters. I thought that was cool that the other characters were like the child and the cop, you know, the detective.
I'm gonna say this.
I wasn't expecting it.
I'm gonna say this. You did not need the child. You definitely didn't need her.
I thought it was an interesting, like, you know, thing though, having her, like, just to add dynamic to the group, you know. It was like it was like a trained killer. A criminally insane carnival freak, a trained singer. Did I say singer or killer before? And a child with a cast on her arm, and a good guy cop. You know, it was like.
Detective.
Detective.
Yes.
Like Gotham PD. It was a crazy like group of like a crazy sort of team that ended up coming together, and I like that.
It was a crazy like dynamic of a group. But like it's just like I didn't need her. The kid didn't need to swallow the damn thing.
Well, that actually reminds me. There was Steven Soderbergh who directed Ocean's 11 and a bunch of other heist movies, and Guy Ritchie, who's directed like Snatch and Sherlock Holmes. He's directed a bunch of heist movies. Both of those movies have this period in the middle where it gets really convoluted with the plot, and I felt like this movie almost did that. You know, like what you were saying about the kid and all of that. Like it gets convoluted in the middle, and but the movie still like sort of somehow made sense and was interesting, whereas those other ones get really boring to me. And this was directed by Cathy Yan, which is her first well-known movie. She's done other movies before, but this was like the first one that
What's
like,
up
is a
with
big
these
name.
people with the first movies getting these big name titles?
It's like a trend with these
Why?
companies getting new directors.
Stop risking and start investing.
But it was written by Christina Hodson, who wrote Bumblebee, which was an excellent movie.
It was an excellent movie. We have to review. But I have to say this.
It's old news. You know?
It is old news, but that's a Transformer movie.
So was this by the time we edited it and get it out there, though.
Calm down. Alright? It's just like, that's one good movie. How many other movies does she make? That was awesome masterpieces. Like awesome.
Oh, I know. I think that.
Let's talk later then, Dan.
And then lastly, Ewan McGregor. I thought that he was really good.
He didn't have the high ground in this one. He had the low ground. I'll take the high road, you take the low road. And he didn't. He took the low road. Listen, no, he took the explosion.
Yeah.
They kill Obi-Wan Kenobi. How dare they kill Obi-Wan Kenobi?
Yeah, well, no, I think actually better known for such movies as Trainspotting, Emma, Robots, Alex Rider, Operation Stormbreaker, or The Island.
They kill Obi-Wan Kenobi.
I thought that his character was really fucked up and freaky, and I liked the way that they did it. I liked the way that he was written, and directed and acted.
I don't really know Black Mask that well.
Neither do I.
I always screwed him up, and I wanted to call him Black Skull because his face is a
Just
skull.
Red skull, black skull.
Yeah, and like
Black mask, skull mask, gray skull.
calm down there. Too many
Gray
skulls.
skull, red skull, black skull, crystal skull.
Shut the fuck up. Skull. They only have a few F-word bombs. That was one. Like I probably used like 3 already, but whatever. But
Fuck that. Speaking of that, though, this movie had cursing.
they did.
And
It was used well though.
it was used well. It was normal.
Okay. Back to what I was saying. Sorry, but like.
Yeah.
I don't know the background like so much with Black Mask. I was about to say Black Skull again. Black Mask, and the way they did it, like you said, they did pretty well. They made him like a germaphobe.
Yeah.
At the same time,
That's
he
coming
was a germaphobe. At the same time, he's infatuated with like gory, gross stuff. At the same time, with a mental issue, mental issue.
But he was like seriously narcissistic.
He was effed to the A. He was just not right, and like it just did well. He did well being this villain. I'm so used to him being a good guy.
Yeah.
And he did well being a bad guy. I've never heard him curse really that much, like curse.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Like this much, but like
especially cursing in an American accent like that.
true. And like the cursing in this movie went like it was fine because it went with the dialogue.
But yeah, actually, he curses a whole bunch in Trainspotting.
Okay.
I should say. see it.
I didn't see that movie, so I'll watch it and see what happens. Maybe make some popcorn. But like in this movie, the dialogue goes well with the cursing, and like the only part when they get bundled up is when they start dropping a bunch of F-bombs for him, and it's necessary F-bombs because people are messing with his stuff. I know when I'm pissed, I like to drop a lot of F-bombs, but I like dropping F-bombs all the time in my sentences. But whatever.
Yeah, well,
It was necessary.
They do this a lot in movies like that are like PG-13, like a character, like they'll be like, what the, and then poof, like an explosion happens, and like mother, poof, and it's
except
like
you're Samuel Jackson.
Not even in Sam Jackson. That's what they did in all of the Marvel ones.
And
they ended up just like they did that in Marvel. It happens a lot, and I remember that happened. It happens like all the time. People yell like mother, and then they can't finish it.
True.
It happens in video games and stuff too. Which why? Rated M video games.
I don't know.
But yeah, like when or if a character is like gosh darn,
my pickles are stuck in that goddamn jar.
shut the front door.
Your mother.
They'll like say stuff, and it's like, why would they're like a cop? They're like they're like a hardboiled detective. They're gonna curse. Why are they not cursing?
I don't know. It's the thing is like, the funny thing is they're speaking of that, the cop is like set in her ways as like a 19s like 50s cop, like movie cop, and they blatantly say this in the movie, saying like, why do you talk like a 19s, 50s detective all the time? And she literally says, shut the fuck up.
Exactly.
Because that's her lingo. She literally says everything like a 1950s detective movie all the time. It was great. They even point that out. It's kind of them breaking the fourth wall in a way, but it's not really the cracking it. A little crack here and there.
Should we bring it over to our friend the
Yeah, have him ruin this for me.
Over to you, the snobbish film scholar. This movie is one of the most significant feminist films since Alien by Ridley Scott. Starting right from the name, Birds of Prey invokes a history of referring to women as birds, and it's enforced by Zaz's character, who actually does call them as such. It also invokes this imagery from cartoons that are on the TVs throughout the movie, which are a bit of intertextuality. We see Tweety Bird in one of the scenes, which may be a happy coincidence because of the Warner Brothers license. But these birds don't need help and are shown through strength rather than sexual value. A typical superhero film, and in particular Harley Quinn in comic books, they show them as being very sexy or having a lot of sex appeal. In particular in the Harley Quinn comics, which are floating around the room somewhere, show Harley Quinn in a lot of sexy outfits. And it seems almost as if her main value is in what she looks like. This, and a lot of superhero films and video games and comics have scenes or shots where it sort of accidentally shows the character's butt or their cleavage. And there's nothing inherently wrong in butt or cleavage, but the absence of it has an interesting effect towards the total value of the character. Now, these characters are valued for their strength in this movie more than anything else. Which leads me to the significance of masks. Ewan McGregor's character, the Black Mask, values beauty. He's obsessed with faces, and all around his room is a museum. What he thinks is most valuable is beauty, and he victimizes people. He in the one scene where he forces a woman to dance on the table, and he actually asks one of the men to rip off her dress. And it makes everybody in the audience and in the film and in the actual audience feel uncomfortable. And even Black Canary wants to do something about it, but is unable to, because what do you do with somebody in power like that is you know, these abusers that are in power can sort of get away with anything. Now, he's the perfect foil for heroes like this because they represent abusers without having to go as far as actually showing the abuse that is topical right now. And in this movie, the end result for a character like this is that he is exploded, and we see it all. This movie wants us to understand that that these characters will rise above this type of villainy. That somebody that values beauty needs to get blown to smithereens, and for certain viewers, this movie might be cathartic. Thank you. Back to you. Thank you very much for that input. Now it's time to rate it.
Like I said, he needs a personality. Rating it?
Yeah.
Okay.
How would you rate it?
I rate it for a DC movie. I want to give it a 6.5.
Okay. Well, so I rate it on the.
I know the scales: craptastic and the marvelous miracle movies that never happened.
Right. So this movie would normally be on a craptastic, being that it's a superhero movie.
Yep.
But it transcends and becomes a masterpiece. But it's only maybe a 1 or a 2. So.
Okay, explain this to me. How does it make it then?
It's good. I liked it a lot, but it's not that good, so it's low.
Okay.
But like elbow. You know what I mean?
Elbow deep.
It's like it's like elbow. Yeah, because if it was, I'm not even good.
You know you want to get that elbow.
Oh man.
I am gonna give a shout out to my boy Bruce. He does make it through an explosion and makes it downtown Chinatown.
What?
It's the hyena.
Oh yeah. That's right.
I almost cried at that part. He gets blown up in Harley Quinn's apartment, and you don't see him, and he gets blown out. Yeah, you see him just go into the explosion, but you do not see him exit from the explosion. Well, finds out he exits from the explosion, and somehow finds his way downtown Chinatown.
Oh no! There he is now.